Smooth, dude. That sounds like some great weed.
Oh, it's too early in the morning. Oops.
There he is.
Forgot that I got early morning throat.
It's too early. Yeah, I've been mixing it with cough syrup all the time now.
Mixing weed with cough syrup?
Well, I was thinking about my grandma always doing the cough syrup and getting a buzz off it, and then I was like, I got a chronic cough, and I don't mind a buzz now and then, so I've been doing a little bit of cough syrup. It keeps the coughing level down for the Airbnb guest. So they don't have.
You still have someone there?
We had somebody check. Yeah, we have somebody last night. So, yep.
So you're using cough suppressant so you don't cough when you smoke weed?
Yep.
How about just don't smoke weed when you've got someone staying there?
Hey now.
Yeah. Hey, come on.
Come on.
The only way you quit is like Willie Nelson. It's like you just can't physically do it anymore.
Morning, gentlemen.
Oh, hey, there's Erickson way up there in the corner. Why aren't you in my screen?
I don't know.
I'm gonna blame Andy.
Andy, what did you do?
There he is. There's Erickson.
Apparently you got to. I don't know if you know this, but you got to click out of each session. Can't just leave them open. What are we at? 28 here? Had a bunch of open windows.
Maybe you thought we were coming back.
Andy's just been closing his laptop when we're done and then opening a new Skype window each time. So Shaylee had to tell him, you've got a shitload of Skype windows open.
He had 8 windows open.
Oh, you're not joking.
No.
That's not a good policy.
It just happened.
Unless you're airing the house out, you should never have more than 8 open windows. Or less.
Maybe
Chad.
That's what happened last week.
Probably, yeah. We're starting to figure some of this shit out. I think now that we've had a few days to step away from the helicopter wreckage, we're starting to see that maybe I fly in a fog a little bit. Maybe circling fucking 3 or 4 times around and then going into the fog is not a good policy for anyone.
You're saying it might be a good idea to ground this helicopter once in a while, huh?
At least for a maintenance check.
Yeah, well, you can get too much smoke in your head, and then you get confused.
Yeah, you can't tell up from down.
So, hey, Chad, did you get Erickson's window open?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I had to drag him. He was.
Yeah, you just gotta drag it down. That's what I noticed.
Oh, is that what you have to do? I don't know.
Yeah, it put you up in the top bar up there. It's all good.
I'm surprised Shaylee's looking so fresh this morning.
Oh, I don't feel it. I did a backtrack of what time things were happening by looking at receipts and text messages.
I had fun trying to read your text messages last night.
Well, a lot of them he reposted twice, so you could get a second look at it. What's going on?
Not only did he resend it twice, but he wrote the caption twice in each one, so we got quadruple messages.
Yeah. Very thorough.
Yeah, gibberish. It was a little weird this morning, waking up and going. I was at least a mile, I think about a mile and a quarter from where Tom lives. So I'm walking drunk in Key West
for
over a mile and just going. Like, I'm just going to...
It's an island.
Probably wasn't.
It loops around. It'll loop around.
Hey, I've been by here.
Yeah. Walking drunk in Key West, I believe, is referred to as buffeting.
Right. Well, that's if you get an Uber.
Well, it's crazy. We we were sitting out, like I was just drunk, and I should have just stayed home. But then I just got to our place, and there's nothing around here. I was at a Moose Lodge before that, and then I go find Tom's place, and we're sitting out on his little tiki bar, which is like right on the street. He's got this little like access alleyway, and he's got a nice little tiki bar there, and we started playing guitar. His girlfriend's playing a guitar, then I pick up and play the only song I can remember.
Now it's a Counting Crows song.
No, it's just that
No,
stupid
it's
Blister
a
in the
Violent
Sun
Femmes song.
Yeah.
Do it. I had it.
So a guy on a bike goes, "Hey, I'll play one."
Of course he did.
And he comes in and just rocks the house for 2.5 hours, playing everything. There's no song that and in fact, even when the girls are like, "Hey, can you do some Gwen Stefani?" And it's like, no, he's not gonna do. They fucking pulled out a computer and he started playing, and it was fucking So I got home real late last night.
He charged you guys before he left?
Oh, he was great, man. He was just a kick-ass dude who knew a ton of fucking songs.
He just rides around waiting for. I hear music. Okay.
Well, maybe it was like that thing in Bugs Bunny where I was playing it so poorly. He goes, "God, you stupid rabbit! I'll play that thing." So yeah, I'm a little green in the gills today.
Where did the butterflies come in?
Good for you.
Oh,
Yeah.
we went to the Butterfly Museum, the Conservancy or something. Yeah.
I had no idea they were running out.
It's right where they make them, right here. Yeah. Yeah, we did that yesterday. We got manicures.
Why?
Do what?
Why did you do the Butterfly Museum? Just to do something drunk?
Well, we weren't drunk yet. But yeah.
They were trying to pretend they were people, but they don't realize that they're not people. I think this is what people do.
You put him on the spot like he went to a Cats matinee.
Kind of, he did.
You know, I mean, butterflies are cool.
I've been to the one in Tucson.
Yeah. I mean, it's
all right.
Who doesn't like a butterfly garden, Erickson?
Yeah, Erickson, what's your problem?
He said it was a butterfly museum. That's not the same thing.
You're right. It says it's the Key West Butterfly and Nature Conservatory. So that's what it is.
I just remember Doug Stanhope having a bit about how he didn't like to do anything like a fucking art walk. And it sounds to me like you had him on an art walk yesterday.
Yep.
So...
And he definitely,
Were you wearing onesies at the Butterfly Museum? Fucking Teletubbies?
Maybe the door was right next to the sushi place and you guys were so drunk you walked in there on accident. Is that maybe what happened?
No, we walked a couple of miles to get there. Yeah, this all
seems very odd. I'm with you.
It's like there was a possession. This is not normal.
You swing by Hemingway's place?
Everything is kind of on the way because it is an island. So I think we did go by it because there was a line coming out the gate, and I was curious like what kind of food they had in there or something.
It looked like a homeless kitchen. Rich people going to a homeless feed.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal is with that. The only Hemingway place I'd go out here is probably Sloppy Joe's bar, but
you go to the one out in Idaho. Didn't he blast himself out and catch him?
I don't know. Did he kill himself out there?
Yeah, he leaned into a shotgun, I think.
I do remember Tom saying that as we walked by it and the people standing in line, like, yeah, this is where he beat his wives.
Oh, come on. That's Bing Crosby's house. And it wasn't his wives, it was his kids. Come on.
And they had it coming.
Yeah, he's trying to write Christmas songs for America, and them little kids are making background racket.
And interesting enough, the kids had to stand in line to get beat, too.
They didn't call it even beating their kids. They called it discipline back then. It's all these whiny snowflakes that call it beatings. Your dad didn't dislocate your jaw. He taught you a life lesson.
Every time.
Shut your fucking mouth.
Every time I got a beating as a kid, I just sat there and imagined all the shit I got away with. And I'm like, you owe me so many more beatings than this. Fuck you.
Yeah. We used to get beatings at school. The teachers would beat it. Yeah. Yep. Corporal punishment.
Wow.
Big old paddle.
Uh-huh. Yeah. All my teachers had a paddle that had well, not all of them, but the masochists, the dudes, they'd have like SWAT drilled into it. And then you'd hear a rumor, somebody getting bare ass, tattooed with SWAT on their ass. And they may have done it more often than, seemed like urban legend, but they did have them hanging there for discipline.
They were hanging there.
I got my first SWAT in school in the first grade, and you'll never believe what it was for. Daydreaming. I got a SWAT.
You're dreaming about second grade.
I wasn't doing my schoolwork, and then I bet they felt like assholes when I was in the second grade, and they put me in advanced class, and they realized I was probably just bored with the fucking work they were giving me. Swatted my ass 3 times for it.
I'll teach that kid to be a daydream believer. All right, boy.
That teacher wanted me
to out of him.
How did she even know what you were dreaming about,
How did they catch you?
Because I had like a bunch of schoolwork that I just wasn't doing. I would just sit there and fucking just stare out the window and shit in school.
You weren't masturbating along with this daydream.
I was a sociopath and I didn't know it. So I was observing everybody else trying to figure out how to act. I didn't know. So
you were observing.
I was learning.
It's a great scientist.
Their work was fucking easy, for God's sake.
Yeah.
So
clearly it paid off.
The teacher fucking hated me though because she wanted me to focus on my schoolwork. So she had gotten a new refrigerator, brought to school the box the refrigerator came in, moved my desk over to the back, and then set the refrigerator box over me. Which now I'm just sitting in pitch dark going, what? Do you think I can daydream better in here, bitch? This is fantastic. I'll put me in a refrigerator box.
She put you in a sensory deprivation tank. And
I think Rogan doesn't Rogan pay big money for that?
It was like a mind puzzle because they also gave me a packet of work to do, and then I couldn't see. Like,
in the dark.
I don't know what you want me to do.
Your first task is invent the flashlight.
You want to know how?
Hole.
How many spots would I have got if I just picking my little fucking dick out the little glory hole? That was. If they were testing to see how smart I was pretty smart because I knew I wasn't going to get my homework done as soon as she put me in there. And I would, I'm getting more SWATs now. Fuck.
My dad told me he was a teacher. It wasn't my dad doing this, but there was a teacher that he told me about that would put a student under his desk that was mouthing off or causing problems. Just a teacher my dad worked with, and he'd put a student under the desk and kick him through like you're in the penalty box and under the desk, and then he'd periodically kick him. My dad was not a whistleblower, apparently.
No.
Well, when we went to school, you couldn't fit a kid under a kid's desk, so that means he put him under the teacher's desk.
Yeah. I can see where a situation like that could cross the line pretty quickly. I was just kicking him, and one thing led to another.
The problem is he wasn't sucking my dick. I was just kicking him. It's her.
He started it by rubbing my feet.
And that kid became a star of Police Academy, Steve Guttenberg.
And eventually those legs didn't kick anybody.
No.
I was thinking Corey Feldman.
Wait, that wasn't Andy's dad, though. Andy said that.
No, my dad was paralyzed. So
Andy's dad just let it happen repeatedly.
Oh, I missed that part.
He was the adult that wouldn't stop it.
Yeah. Or maybe just he, heard talking to teachers.
Well, maybe he was envious of the legs.
Yeah.
All
No,
that hot leg action. He just
back
legs work.
then,
He
my
was
dad.
kicking kids vicariously through the speech.
Back then, my dad had legs and he knew how to use them, but he forgot, and they went dead.
Phantom kicks.
He wasn't one of them inspirational teachers in a wheelchair. He was out.
Oh shit!
He
I never got swatted once. Oh, go on.
Oh, never mind. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say I never got hit once in school or by my parents ever.
Wow.
I guess we were progressive in Walnut, Illinois, in
So you didn't
the
go to
1970s.
you didn't go to church either?
Not really. No.
Yeah. I got choked and hit at church. I got swatted by most of my teachers up until 8th grade.
Jesus.
In high school, I had to kind of wean myself from the beatings because the Mr. Phillips would get physical, but it wasn't like, organized like it was in middle school.
Yeah, but all the kids swatting in Coquille was like creepy sexual. We know what it led to.
Yeah, it was foreplay.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, whereas Erickson's community was morally advanced, yours was just sexually advanced. Mine,
fetish town.
Mine was retarded in both respects. And in shop class, if you got caught chewing tobacco, you could either swallow it or take 2 swats from the teacher. He was a fucking sadist either way, because he'd watch you swallow it or he'd bust your ass.
Oh yeah.
But if you took the
Japanese
swats,
game show.
Would you rather?
Yeah.
Shop teachers semi-erect.
We didn't chew and shop. We smoked, but we smoked back by the big fan where there was like painting and shit going on. So you could just stand back there and smoke into the fan, and shop teacher didn't give a fuck.
Yeah, did anyone make anything in wood shop in high school? It seems like
pipes?
you just like fucked up people's shoes or set shit on fire.
We made wooden signs, like decorative, we like with the bandsaw, we'd cut out the word Pabst, and that would be like, oh, look, I made this for my room. And then we'd shellac it, be really proud of ourselves. And then the tea would break off, and you'd be like, I just wasted 8 weeks.
The one project we had to make was like a jewelry box for our moms. I remember that. And I could tell at the end how much I did not pay attention at all, because they were all lined up and you could pick out which one was mine. I used like the wrong tools. It was fucking beveled backwards from everybody else's. I'm not a carpenter.
You could see which kid did his under a refrigerator box. This one looked like it was clearly assembled in the dark.
I would have done better, Mom, but I was under constant threat of swats.
It's a whole new take on The Boy in the Bubble.
Chad's going up for his diploma in a box.
Yeah.
Scooting across.
What the fuck is somebody's refrigerator graduating?
A little handshake hole where the glory hole used to be. Thank you. A repurposed glory hole.
That's the first time there wasn't your dick sticking out of that hole. Like the dick pulls back in, and then the hand comes out and shakes back.
I don't know about the people that use them, but glory holes sure have given us a lot of joy in life, right? From the first time I heard about it to every time I've seen one since then, it's like, oh my God, it's like a I'm not a Kiwanis, but I imagine that their meetings are fun. I'm just not that into it.
You don't want to wear the silly hat.
Yeah. The Lions Club or any of those, It looks like they're having fun flipping burgers at the fair, but I'm not going to join.
I don't want anything with a tassel.
I'm not judging your club specifically. I just don't like clubs. That's all it is.
Yeah, just it's like the Shriners. There's something going on there. It looks like, if you could wear the fez, it'd be. Hey, who doesn't want to help crippled kids? I need some more cough syrup. I can justify the cough syrup with the Airbnb gas now.
Don't say anything like that.
No,
probably some inside right now.
I think you missed that, Erickson. That was early. Andy is now taking cough suppressants, so he doesn't cough as much when he's smoking weed. Now that he has Airbnb guests,
you got to be thoughtful.
He's trying for the thoughtful badge on the Airbnb app.
Well, I don't even like talking to people, and my wife apparently does, because she goes out and talks to all of them. And this lady is her dad's dying of liver failure. So a little note to you people having fun out there in Key West. So she's here for that. So I'm wafting up some weed smoke in support.
Maybe we could like do a little tweak on Andy's setup there. We get a refrigerator box and put him in it.
No, I could
have a little porthole out for the smoke. We give you a light.
Sound absorption in there.
Well, I can actually add 3 refrigerator boxes in the garage and rent the space.
What? Turn it into a classroom?
Yeah, we got the Olympics coming up. I'll sell it as Joe Rogan endorsed deprivation boxes. Chad Shank endorsed.
You could lay them on their side, and it could be one of those Japanese pod hotels.
Yeah, education deprivation box.
Yeah. Here's your slogan: chill with the best.
I like
that deserved more. That deserved more than a cop, but you guys were all drinking.
I think I'm on delay here.
Froze halfway through it because I missed half of it.
It probably was for the best then. Yeah. We'll just say God censored that.
That's
joke.
A convenient out. Like when my mom used to call, and then I would say, "Hang on," I'd hit mute, and then say, "I'm getting another call coming in, Mom." She always bought it. Now I can't talk to her. So who won that? Now she put herself on permanent mute. And if I could just have one more minute of dumb conversation about Larry getting off of drugs.
This time for sure.
How'd that work out for you, Mom?
It's the little things you miss.
Oh, man.
Fuck.
Coconut water's not helping.
What's it supposed to help?
It says electrolytes and shit, but I don't know.
Makes you vomit. Vomiting always feels better.
I've been close all day, so
really, you should just do it.
If I think real hard about swallowing that chewing tobacco, I probably could.
Yeah. Well, there's got to be some chew in that. Isn't that a comedy condo? Look up on the fridge.
An old dried out tin of Copenhagen up there.
Put a little whiskey in it. It'll freshen it right up.
Come on, guys.
Bring it back to life.
The saving grace is they ran out of booze at Tom's place.
Yeah, that'll happen.
I would have kept drinking. Yeah.
That's the diplomatic way of saying we drank all the booze at Tom's place.
Yeah. Another way, Tom,
at least a dope fiend will put a little aside for the morning, Fucking alcoholics, I'm not saving a drop of anything till tomorrow.
No, it's wrung dry, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I licked the the last of the rum up the last time I drank. I thought maybe there's something up there. No, it's just the ones I fill some of them with water just so they look all right.
I guess you're the only one drinking, right?
Yeah, I'm the only one drinking, and if there's a bottle of vodka sitting there for decorations, and then I drank all the vodka, I'll just refill it. I don't give a fuck. But
that's what I did in high school too.
Yeah. Me too.
My mom's husband had all of those whiskey decanters, the flying geese and the fucking Indian guy and everything. I'd just get some from each one. Make my own
suicide. Yeah, it works until you hit the Galliano, because once you add water to Galliano, it turns cream colored.
Oh.
It's a big, tall bottle. You ruin the whole thing. And you have to drink Galliano. Ugh.
I think when it stopped working out for me is I drank an entire fifth of Yukon Jack. And I didn't care anymore about trying to hide it, and burst that whole bubble.
Yeah, that one was, is like it's probably like the most syrupy fucking alcohol with the highest alcohol content of all. I broke in with drinking. Yeah, Yukon. I thought somebody ordered Yukon. What's the drink? Snake bite, and I would drink. I thought it just sounded like something John Wayne would have ordered or whatever. And I was like, yeah, that guy seemed to be a fucking drunk. So I'd order snake bites, and I hated every fucking snake bite I ever had. And I now hate John Wayne too.
He was wrong about everything.
Yeah, he's a fucking racist asshole. And I was drinking what he drank. I was drinking his Kool-Aid. And for a while I was like, well, let's get these uppity black people off of my lawn. No, I wasn't with John Wayne on the racism, but he didn't have like you've tried to find a black guy in a John Wayne movie. It's almost impossible.
You don't have to apologize. John Wayne was a piece of shit.
Yeah,
for sure.
They didn't have a lot of Indians in those movies either. They were always guys with bronzer on.
Yeah.
I've never once thought about a person's individuality or their personal beliefs. I just watched the stupid fucking cowboy movie and then shut it off when it's over with. I don't fucking care what his life is or what his beliefs are.
Well, of course not. You're in a fucking lived in a refrigerator box for fucking formative years of your life.
I'm so glad I didn't live in a progressive town.
I know this is going to blow your mind, but try thinking outside of the box.
I don't know why. To what end? To what end does it help me to fucking judge people's social commentary when I just want to watch the fucking movie?
Andy, actually, are you saying that he was in the dark when he was growing up?
Yeah.
Would you say I had blinders on?
You wouldn't have been racist because you wouldn't have known who was in the box with you. You wouldn't have been able to judge them by the color of their skin without a flashlight.
Andy's making a really good argument for putting kids in boxes.
Yeah, Andy is a really good argument for putting kids in boxes.
I had a friend for me, goddamn.
I had a friend's kid who liked to be in a kennel for a while. This little girl, and she enjoyed playing dog, and then it just seemed weird to put her in a kennel and then leave her in there for a bit, and she just seemed to enjoy it. She's since grown out of it and outgrown the kennel, but that's a happy story about a kid in a cage. Don't we need more of those? Like, there's a lot of sad news about kids being locked in cages these days. But little Katie Sherwood enjoyed her time in the kennel for, she didn't have to stay there and sleep with an aluminum blanket or whatever. She wasn't put out in the cold or anything. But
she thought she was a dog. Did she just curl her head up under her tail and go to sleep?
Well, she just liked to be a dog, yeah.
Your ass.
At the time.
Who is Katie Sherwood?
She's a friend's kid.
I'm guessing Andy is the worst babysitter ever, just from that one story.
I wasn't even in charge. I wasn't in charge.
Of course you weren't in charge. No one would let someone in charge who's putting a kid in a kennel.
I kept trying to make sure the door was unlocked or something because of I made
sure she had water. Is that what you're saying?
My brothers at my house where I lived, you could lock somebody in the closet real easy, and that was like brother on brother punishment, like brother on brother timeout. And always bigger ones on the littler ones. So I would get locked in a closet a lot. It was basically Chad Shank's education experience. But I guess I was homeschooled.
Can't afford a refrigerator.
Yeah, I was homeschooled.
Say what you will about the box. First grade, I'm getting SWAT. Second grade, I'm in advanced classes.
Yeah,
that focus box did something.
Yeah. Focus box. So that's what the glory hole used to be called. Focus box.
Yes.
That's how it started.
Yeah, that's how it started. The glory hole erupted from the focus box, you could say.
I wonder if somebody was just trapped originally when that thing started, you know? Hey, man, there's an avalanche. I need some help. And somebody's like, hey, I'll get you some help, but I need my dick sucked first.
I pictured it the other way. I thought you were like somebody was buried in the snow and they're yelling like, I need help. Okay, I'm here to help you. Where are you? And then a dick just pops up out of the snow. Like, wait, what do you want me to do with this? Help me.
Any way it works, man.
All of this talk
Like I said,
about
I'm not
glory.
a Kiwana.
All this talk about glory holes in refrigerator boxes is the most disturbing to me because you guys are picturing snowbanks and I'm still picturing the first grade classroom. So I don't like all this glory hole talk about the refrigerator.
It all blends together in my hometown.
Yeah.
Yeah, in Andy's hometown, anytime that you get called into a room with an adult and they don't make you suck their dick, I mean, getting hit was probably okay.
Well,
you want to take another swat?
I don't know about that. Well, actually, my 5th grade teacher did get it. You know, he was into that. But the principal at the grade school that he was into fingering boys in the asshole.
What?
He would, yeah, all of them. Like he banged the whole school.
Wait,
all of
his
fingers?
Yeah. Yeah, it was part of PE class. I went to a different grade school.
I'm gonna need 8 of you young boys over here immediately.
No, it was like a
thumbs I use for grip. I use the thumbs for grip, but the other 4 are going into boys.
No, you learn a lesson. You don't want to have all of your fingers utilized. You need something in case there's an escape.
You need some way to point out that you're having a good time at the same time.
Well, I don't think he cared. I think it was about safety.
You guys don't know.
I think it was presented as a safety feature. It was they would do PE class and then they would do high jump was one of their things, and they would go and then they would have to spread their ass cheeks because they jumped into sawdust. And and he would check their assholes for sawdust chips.
No,
it would have. Yeah,
that didn't happen.
It did.
You said this time he told us this story. I remember it.
I went to a different grade school, so I can't even say I got banged. But I several of my friends partied at that. They got banged by their principal as part of PE. It wasn't even.
In Coquille at the grade school, elementary school.
Yeah, I think it was Jefferson. I went to Washington, and oddly enough, the people that went to Lincoln grade school made it out okay.
Oh, goddamn!
Sawdust check.
That's
yeah.
That sounds so innocent.
I can't. No, wait a minute.
I know it's
innocent.
true.
It sounds the exact opposite of that. It's like, wait a minute. I don't think we should have our kids jumping in sawdust. If the result of the sawdust jumping is that a grown man has to look at my child's asshole, then we're gonna cut out the sawdust jumping from
no more high jump.
Well, maybe it was just maybe it was an elaborate pitch for some mats.
Go the long way
There's
around.
nothing I can do, but hey, you want me to stop checking assholes? You're gonna have to get me some good cushions.
Yeah.
You're underestimating how stupid parents are. I'd go so far as to say maybe there was a PTA meeting where an outraged mother said, "My kid is coming home with sawdust in his ass every day. I demand that this be fixed before he gets on the bus." And
all it takes is one kid with a mahogany chip up his sphincter, and you got a lawsuit on your hand.
Yeah, you ever try to pull splinters out of an asshole?
It looks like hemlock. There's nothing we can do about it.
It's gonna have to work its way out.
Soak in a bath, maybe it'll swell up.
At least if it was myrtle wood, it would keep the fleas out. Maybe. I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah.
Myrtle wood.
I think you need leaves, though. I don't know. It's probably all ground up, you know.
You'd have to keep your asshole pretty dirty if you wanted to grow leaves on it.
Now I'd be worried about kids getting styrofoam or plastic up their assholes.
They got all those little rubber pellets are everywhere. They're terrible.
Yeah, little tires up their assholes.
Yeah,
Poor
that's
kids.
gonna be bad. There's gonna be there'll definitely be actual health consequences of that shit.
And
because that shit's getting under people's skin. Like they play soccer indoors. They have those little rubber pellets in the
grass,
field,
the artificial glass.
in the grass. You slide on that, and it gets embedded in your skin, and it leads to all kinds of problems. Just the tiny little pellets are getting in there, all fucked up. So you'll be wishing for sawdust in your ass.
Yeah, maybe the kids need to just go back to playing on sawdust. I don't think there's I think they drummed a lot of heroes like Gerald Witt out of the business for his over concern about
overzealousness.
I'll tell you this though, not one of my friends that I know of, and some of them ended up going to court on the thing, but not one of them ever was affected by a wood chip in their asshole. So, was he too tough on it? Yeah, sure, he fought crime a little aggressively, but
I was thinking, my whole childhood I played roughly as any kid. I never got anything lodged in my ass. No, I never needed help. But it was not how are these kids? I don't understand.
We played a lot of smear the queer, and I kept my mouth shut. You don't want to be the focus of that game.
I remember that game.
Yep.
Yeah. You're the queer. Yeah, you hold the ball, dummy.
You better.
I agree, Chad. I mean, I don't remember any kind of consequences like this of like having to get a sawdust check or. Yeah. I did all the presidential fitness stuff. I was plenty of chances to get sawdust on me. It's just one of many instances where adults took advantage of these kids in Coquille.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it was like the 70s, so people were showering with the kids and whatnot.
Yeah, that did happen.
Yeah.
My cousin and I once played cars in a giant pile of asbestos next to an asbestos mine because we didn't know any better.
Yeah.
No, the person checked our butthole for asbestos after that.
And they probably should have.
Yeah. Should have been deloused.
Yeah, it doesn't take much of that. That's like a whole fucking bucket full of chips. Just one little.
No shit,
I did a little asbestos removal in college as a side gig.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. I would go get sodas for the other guys mainly.
That sounds like your workload.
But,
that makes more sense.
Yeah, I was
I
was always real slow about getting the safety suit on, and they go, "Yeah, well, you don't even have
lunch.
Yeah, I'll go. You know what? I'll go do that." Yeah.
I'm already half undressed. I might as well make the run if you guys want to give me your order.
Hey, let me know when they're doing the sawdust check. I'll be back.
Yeah. I'll be asleep. I got a job at a furniture store I got to get to take a nap. I'll be right back.
Mattress salesman in the afternoon.
Yeah, I did work I worked at a furniture store and I don't even know how I got the job, but my whole purpose of my job was figuring out a way to like do an Ocean's 11 sting and steal a bunch of shit. I was gonna, it's like I could never piece it together because there was cameras around, but I wanted to like have fake some paperwork and have a delivery and then maybe, knock out one of the other drivers.
For an end table?
Yeah,
I broke a lot of people's furniture back then, and I owed a lot of people furniture. So it's like, how can I fucking score furniture to pay people off?
Wait a minute. So basically, what you're saying is that in your daily just life, amongst your friends, you broke enough furniture that the best way to pay them back was to get a job at a furniture store and then concoct a whole furniture stealing scheme that you can use to
where you
pay
knocked
back
out
your
a driver.
Well, no,
You're knocking out a driver?
I knew which one it would have been.
He's more vengeful.
The investigators are all confused. It seems this happened over a futon, so that really doesn't make sense. I don't understand.
Believe me, I wasn't looking forward to hitting myself in the head with a bottle to make it look like
To mask the inside job. He shoots himself in the leg.
I could never get past filling out a form. Like, how do I get the SKU number off of a love seat?
I love that he never got any further than asking for the application. His whole Ocean's 11. It worked with you getting the job.
Yeah, it was just me though. It was Andy one. I needed to meet Oceans and his 9 or 10 friends. I'm not good with math, so.
How do you split a footstool 11 ways?
We just needed to find a bunch of guys who also owed their friends furniture, and then they would just.
And they wouldn't even let me into the stereo den.
Of course not.
Yeah, I didn't get a key to that. And in fact, I think they probably just read intent into one. You know? Hey, Larson Superstore, I hope you're happy you ran off a potential burglar.
There is absolutely nothing about you, Andy, that says to me you should be hired to move furniture around.
That's what Jack Elam. That's what Jack Elam thought when I chipped his tile. You know, Jack Elam, the actor. He was my. He woke me up in the love seat, or a lazy. I was in a lazy boy, and Jack Elam. I didn't know Jack Elam would even be shopping, or it was a possibility. You know who he is, right?
No.
He's the old. He was in a lot of John Wayne movies and old Western dude. He was in Cannonball Run. He had the fucked up eye.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I know that.
Played like a doctor.
Yeah, the doctor from Cannonball Run. Yeah, and that was, and I watched that a lot. Watched that a lot on Showtime at Grandma's place, and then I was asleep, years later, asleep in a chair, thinking of ways to rob the store, and fucking Jack Elam woke me up. He was like, "Hey," and he scared the shit out of me, and I was like, when you see that guy in particular, it fucking scares you. And I got up and wandered around, going, "The fuck? Who was that? Was some? I've seen that guy before." And it was Jack Elam, and then I got to deliver stuff, and apparently I got a little. It was a fridge, Chad. I don't know what we did with the box, but
might have been the very one I sat in.
Sounds like you missed an opportunity. Is what happened?
Yeah, he
there.
poked it. He had one eye out, but he had the other eye was attuned to what I did to his tile.
What did you do?
You know how you take a heavy cart and you chip tile, you catch an edge. If I knew what I did, I wouldn't have done it maybe, or it wasn't. It's like I told him it wasn't intentional, man. He's like, he was a pretty easygoing guy at the store, but he didn't like his shit being set back.
No.
Hey man, I liked you in Cannonball Run, but I do not like you complaining. Is this acting? Because I'm not in on it. My character is hurt.
Always been a bit of a more of a monologist.
I was no Dom DeLuise, man. My feelings were hurt. That's why I have multiple pipes.
I get it.
Hey, I found my.
Because Jack Elam is looking over your shoulder.
Yeah. Well, he's dead now. George Kennedy was another one who lived out there, but I didn't get to deliver furniture to him.
Jack Elam tipped him off.
Those two guys are going to talk if they're living in the same town.
Which one of us is doing the reverse mortgage pitch this month?
Yeah, right. Oh, shit.
Yeah, Jack Elam pretty good fucking celebrity dude to run into while waking up in a store, you know.
He's a pretty severe looking dude, man.
Yeah, well, he was an accountant, and he jammed a pencil in his eye. I'm not sure if it was tax time or he was doing drugs.
Maybe he's doing his own Ocean's 11.
Yeah. Maybe he was thinking of ways. Maybe he was thinking of ways to get furniture replaced too.
A workman's comp scam.
Yeah. And he jammed.
An accountant get workman's comp. Ah!
Well, if he was thinking, how do I get into being a background actor? It was a genius move.
Yeah.
Because he jammed that in his eye, and he got all the weird. He became a Western. I don't know if he ever starred in anything, but he was always like,
He was
speaking.
always a character actor that had a lot of Western. He was like the prospector or like the sidekick guy.
If Gabby Hayes didn't get it, or darn it, I lost a part to Jack Elam again.
Again, give me that pencil.
I wish I could put a pencil in my eye. I just ain't got the courage.
Gabby didn't have the stomach to go all the way.
Gabby never had the courage.
Yeah, he spends nights just with it right here, just like shaking and looking at it. Like, come on.
His wife's bitching at him. Do it! You're always going to be typecast as rocking chair guy if you don't put that pencil in your eye.
Back in the box. That's it. That could be we could do a Chad Chang shirt. Just have somebody draw a box.
Box.
If you want it done in 3D, I had a little crafting class.
Yeah,
I might be able to do that.
Well, that's it. Like we put it out there if we wanted anyone to design us some merch, but I think now we just realize we don't need anyone else. I can do one of those 3D boxes.
Yeah.
I know how to do that. I know how to do that.
Yeah. That's. I don't remember algebra, but I do know how to make a 3D box. Thank you, Mr. Schinzer.
How about just a classroom full of little kids and then one of them in a giant refrigerator box?
You blockhead.
That's something. There's something more sinister about that story because she had to know I'd be in the dark. She just hated me, I think. I don't know.
Of course.
Yeah, at least you couldn't be kicked.
Or at least you'd hear it coming.
The kid underneath the desk is going, man, I wish I had room to spread out.
Fucking box kid, teacher's pet.
One thing I figured out in kindergarten is if you get sent to the hallway, you can go through other people's lunchbox and kind of custom make your own lunch. I didn't even know there was victims. I was like, fuck it, I'm upgrading him. My mom needs help.
The teacher comes out halfway through and you're like 15 lockers down. It's like, I got some rye, some cheeses, just collecting little peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah, I have nothing but snack treats today. What did you get?
All snacks.
Oh, you got all celery. That's fucked up. That guy was not paying attention.
All ding dongs. It's
My mom,
the crunch berries, all berries.
My mom loves me. I got 4 puddings.
Who brings 8 puddings to school?
Yeah.
Apparently
the pudding king of Coquille.
The kid who couldn't stay in his seat,
Yeah.
That teacher
the pudding king of Washington grade school.
I had one teacher, it might have been that one, that said I had ants in my pants. And that was like, and then ants in my pants and liked to tease other kids. So there you go. It was like, who's teasing who? Like I got, okay, I get it. It's like a top to bottom, You want zero tolerance bullying. Don't accuse a kid of coming there with a bunch of insects crawling in his underpants. Because that's not for bugs. That's for gentlemen's hands. Right there. You keep the fucking bugs out of my man's glove.
Oh God.
That's my man's Hanes.
Maybe she was just really telling you, Andy, that you had ants in your pants because you had stuffed all the puddings
Yeah.
In your pants.
It was a wagon.
It wasn't
being literal.
Chicken and egg thing. Maybe I was hyper because I got sent to the hall, or maybe I got hyper because I was sent to the hall. But too much sugar is not a good thing, you know. That was one thing my mom was right about. She wouldn't let me take a bunch of sugared up snacks to school, but a lot of other parents didn't mind. And and I remember the buzz of those days of getting them, you know, extra special treats. It's like being rich. It's like being rich. I got fucking ho-hos, yo.
The halcyon pudding days of Andy's youth.
Yeah.
At least you were told you had ants in your pants, Andy. I brought it on myself, but I was told I had butt worms when I was a kid because I had like anxiety to where you can't hold still. But I'd get in trouble if I fucking didn't hold still. So I held still, but then I was like fucking eaten up inside, and I didn't know how to describe it. You still don't. How do you describe to somebody that you're crazy and you feel like you're gonna climb out of your own fucking skin? So I was a little kid, so I described it as my butt tickles because that's, that's,
I probably did. I probably did too to the wrong guy.
Yeah,
Andy has the same story with the different outcome.
Absolutely.
I'm either better at blocking shit out or I had nicer people in my community for certain.
Absolutely.
There's two ways to answer the "Are you ticklish?" question, and one is I'm not sure, and then after that it's no, I'm not.
Guess
Live
I
and
was.
learn. Live and learn.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, no, I definitely don't like it.
Know.
Yeah. Butt worms. Yeah, I'm glad I didn't go to the have a principal that was concerned about ants in my pants. Imagine how long that would take to dissect.
Well, we got the sawdust out. Now we've got to get the insect out.
Yeah, I'm worried about that layer of dirt under the sawdust. What's under there?
Mrs. Andrus, I wasn't giving him swats. I was just knocking the sawdust out of his ass.
Well, that principal also had a slip and slide, and I never got to go over to that either. But I think that was, in the summer, you don't worry about the wood chips. You relax, and you just rinse off.
Wait, so this guy had a slip and slide at his house, and the kids would come over.
He also had the best.
But did he have kids?
I don't think so. Well, he loved kids.
All he wanted.
Yeah. I do remember going to his haunted house. It wasn't nearly as good as the Hetrick's, but his haunted house was back in the day. People didn't even have all them decorations and stuff, and his had the music. He was ahead of the curve on scoping out wood chip danger.
It was just one room with a big high bar, and then you came into the haunted house and you had to leap over it. And then when you landed, he was just standing there like,
it's like if
with a flashlight.
It's like if Goofy had a fun house and he wasn't named Goofy. It's like, what? You got your own bounce house? Yeah, come on in.
The whole haunted house is just a series of scares that end up with you falling in a pile of wood. Oh, hold on. All right.
You know what comes next?
I was just thinking a great haunted house theme would be pedophiles, but not you'd like dress up people like Jerry Sandusky, Michael Jackson. Oh, come on in, kids. Just as kids would be like, that's what they should be afraid of. Hey, it's the friendly coach who wants to give you a back rub. Run. I'm not trying to get rid of clowns. You'd still fit them in, and priest. They'd still have a place in it.
Their own room.
Yeah. Maybe that's not a good idea at all.
No. I like the idea that your haunted house has a cause of, like teaching kids stranger danger.
Yeah, like the hell house, like the rape room and the rave room and the drug room.
Maybe the idea of teaching them to run away if somebody sticks their hand down their pants is not having a guy try to stick his hand down their pants.
Who's going to play that character?
How hilarious would
learn?
it be to have a Jerry Sandusky mask, though, to hand out treats? Oh, what are you, little fella? I'm the tickle monster.
My treats are in the back. Just come on in. You can have. I got full-size candy bars in here.
There's so much wrong with this.
Can you come help
It's
me?
okay.
Find
It's okay. I'm a victim.
Yeah, you can say it.
Yeah. Shank can't laugh about it.
I can't do. You don't know.
Yeah.
You ain't been sawdusted properly.
You don't know what happened. You were in a sensory deprivation box. You were, Stockholm syndrome or whatever. You're just happy to have light.
If old ass Mrs. Bach climbed in that refrigerator box with me, I would be able to block that shit out for certain.
Yeah, don't you wish you could go back just to block some of the swats? I do. I was like, but yeah, you're not going to hit me again, Mr. Ramsey. I'm going to hit you. In fact, you drop your pants, sir.
I think the tables have turned.
This paddle says Medicaid, which you don't have anymore, motherfucker.
Oh, shit.
I would open a nursing home for some of my former teachers, sure. Would I want cameras around? Probably not.
Probably
not. You're like the Boondock Saints, though. You're like going back to get retribution on the old fucking teachers who swatted you with your big paddle.
Yeah. I'd do that.
Well, you can't see your mom today. She's in the focus box.
Yeah, who's the unsatisfactory citizen now, motherfucker? I got a lot of that. They used to grade us on performance and other stuff, and then on citizenship. And I'd get a U. I could spell out stuff with my comments, like fun or whatever. Fun and unnecessary, needs improvement, a lot of that. Needs improvement. And then sometimes I'd get the satisfactory. Those were the ones where I missed a lot of days of school. Like performance was satisfactory, but I missed 30 days.
you being there was as good as you being good.
That's where my citizenship, that's what I learned as a citizen in America, too. The less you show up, the better they like it.
Keep to yourself, American.
Shut your mouth and don't get out of line, and you're all right. But volunteer for shots first, and then come back and raise havoc, and it's trouble. I was the first kid who got the immunization shot, and I volunteered for it, and I set a bad precedent. Yeah, they do those.
They have you guys all lined up like fucking army
come
battalion.
Down in first
all right,
grade,
I need whoever wants to take.
I think they let off with orange. I think they let off with orange juice and snacks, and I put my hand up, and I went down there, and that's when they were doing like the multi-shot. They had like 5 little things.
Yeah, booster shots and everything.
Yeah, they'd put the microchip in you in the back of your arm. It's like getting slugged in the back of the arm, and I was just down there hoping for orange juice and a snack, and then they hit me with that hammer in the back of the arm, and then I went back. I thought it was maybe picture day or something.
You really didn't pay attention.
Oh, I was
shot day, shot.
Or whether they back there combing his hair with that one black comb they would give you.
Putting my tie on.
Who brings a tie to shot day?
roll up your sleeve. Well, that's going to look silly in the picture.
Yeah. So I don't never see me volunteering for anything. It's the last time I ever volunteered for anything. And then I got like the shots, and then I went back, and then nobody wanted to go down to where I went and got the shot. It was like fucking everybody. I was howling, and everybody else is like, lead by example. And that's what I did. It was like, you don't want to go down there, man. This shit. And it's like, oh, and I still got it. That's how the government knows what I'm saying about them. It was back then. Who was president then? Yeah. Nixon? Maybe it was Nixon. It was probably Tricky Dick.
Once again, Andy goes down into a room with an adult and comes out screaming.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's every single time.
Yeah. I know. That's why I didn't do individual sports, you know.
Yeah.
I did team sports, and they still managed to get me sideways. Most of my coaches weren't interested in me sexually,
Well, that's
or as a starter, for that matter.
You were satisfactory.
Well,
you were pretty. You said you were JV in both areas.
Yeah,
Fuckable and playable.
I was a special team specialist back before it was even a thing.
You were the Steve Tasker of getting fingered.
Right. Yeah. I always managed to show up on not on film or whatever, but I always managed to hit somebody who wasn't paying attention.
Unless he does a lot of stuff that doesn't show up on the score sheet.
Unless I was on the team that was supposed to pay attention, and then I was that kid. So
you needed a focus box.
It was definitely karma, you know. Kick return and kicking team were basically, tops and bottoms separate.
Tops and the bottoms separate, and then they run them at each other at full speed.
Reluctant bottoms, forget what you're doing.
They didn't have shirts and skins at Andy's school. They had tops and bottoms.
Blood in the girdle is what they called it. If you got blood in your girdle, get them washed. We're traveling next week.
Oh, no.
I'm not going to make it into the Coquille Sports Hall of Fame with this kind of talk.
No.
Oh my God.
There is one. It was a possibility up until we started this podcast. But if they don't have Coach Clem's dick lacquered to a wall.
Somebody add Andy as a notable fucking person from his town on Wikipedia. Hurry up.
I think it would be interesting to know who holds the Coquille high jump record, because whoever's the highest jumper, I would like to see if that sort of inspiration as a coach leads to higher jumps or lower.
Really?
What if the Coquille is the Oregon State record for grade school high jumps? It works. Well, is what I'm saying.
I think they adopted that Fosbury flop after, or in spite of. I think they did it in spite of what happened in Coquille.
They couldn't call it the sawdust shift anymore.
Yeah, but back then, kids were reluctant to open their dick eye hole to see if they got wood chips in their front hole. So, I don't know. Is that docking? Is that I don't even know the term for that. I didn't stick with it. Yeah.
If it's sawdust, I think they call it tongue and groove.
Yeah. You don't want to go from PE class to shop, because then you get that glue down there and that chip's there forever. That was trouble. They didn't have wood shop in grade school though.
They did have glue though.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that was one of the first school supplies they taught you to get. Because you'll need that glue. You're going to need this glue because you're about to fucking sacrifice freedom. It's over. Sniff the glue. I could never understand the kids that would eat their paste. It's like, why are you getting, you're going to, take it slow, man. Put it in a bag. It's going to last the whole school year.
Sip it.
Of course you don't understand that though, Andy, because they were eating paste because they were hungry. Because you went through their lockers and took all their fucking.
Yeah, that explains the kid who would make a glue hand and then he would eat his own skin. Oh, I'm sorry, I took your Twinkie, but you don't have to gross out the chicks.
Oh shit.
I eventually got free lunch tickets because of my poverty, so it worked itself out.
Did that stop the scam?
Well, I stopped taking my own lunch because my dad, he got tired of packing my lunch.
So did your shop teacher.
Well, I complained about my lunch, and my dad was micromanaging things at home because he was paralyzed and he didn't have anywhere to go. So he didn't appreciate washing loads getting off center because he'd have to drag all the clothes out, and he also didn't like kids that belly ached about lunches. And I was.
So his solution was to just cut off lunch entirely.
Yeah,
he just stopped serving you lunch once you.
Yeah, he got me free lunch tickets, and then I would get them 501 Levi pants, and he refused to wash them because they would throw the wash machine off, and so he would tell me he washed them, and I could tell he did not. You know, you're lying. You know, these are shrink to fit, and they don't.
And they're dirty.
Yeah.
There's sawdust all over them.
Yeah. Check the backside. It's full of chips, you know. Obviously, I need to transfer to a different school district.
I'm more of a Jefferson man.
I'm getting swatted when I need to be inspected, you know. Yeah. I guess I went to a top finishing school when I should have went to bottom
More lucrative.
More lubrative. That's the thing I'd like to ask. I'm going to have to ask my friend Mark about that. Did he use lube at all? Was he going dry, you know? Or did one kid's asshole lube the next kid's, you know? As it just like, you know, as an adult, you go like, how did he even do that?
And I don't think you should be asking those questions of other adults. Okay?
Especially if you have it.
Well, we've already Preventive Tape has this whole story if he'd ever finished the movie. But my friend Mark told the whole story about it. And I got the court documents, and I found out another friend was involved with it who never mentioned it one time and made fun of me for being molested. So, ha, ha, ha. I won't use your name. You got it before I did, bitch. You could have warned me off.
You both got it.
Yeah,
one wins.
But I
Joke's on you.
But I got to travel. I got to see a suburb.
Look at all these sweatsuits.
I got to see a Northern California suburb.
But you both got molested.
And I got partying. I got partying. Yeah. I know. Well, his was part of his public paid education, and mine was off campus.
Private contract.
Yeah, off campus activity.
Like CCD.
Yeah. Now, had I got molested on campus, that would have been a better situation because I would have at least had more friends to low five or whatever.
You're closer to the pudding.
Not that you'd high five, but you just go, "Well, that was weird, right?" You know, or whatever. And I didn't have any
informal club.
I guess I had to just lump it. You know, I was like, you know, it's not. I had to wait many years till I got drunk on the Man Show, writing with Doug, or not writing, just getting drunk. You know, that's what we did.
Yeah. We saw the show.
Yeah. You know, what are you gonna do? So we get drunk a lot. I go,
shit.
Yeah, this isn't what it normally, you know, it's like, hey, you know, I had a situation with a man when I was a boy, and Stanhope was the listening ear, you know, he found it amusing and fun, and he never got molested, oddly enough. And, you know, I guess if you see pictures of him as a kid, you might see why, you know, somebody might have, you know, it's one of them stories like Michael Jordan getting cut from the team, you know. That's why Michael Jordan was so great. It's because he was cut from the team, you know.
Yeah.
That was Stanhope. He didn't get molested because he didn't get molested. You know, nobody took an interest that way, and he had to, you know, fight for everything he got. He didn't have no free lunches at Sizzler.
Oh shit, Andy, your story becomes more and more full all the time because now I see you as like a grown-up child actor who was famous like for a time in the 70s. Like in Coquille, you were like hot shit. You were like the 8th fucking Van Patten kid or whatever. in your little short
Oliver
shorts,
on
and
Brady
everyone's
Bunch.
like, "Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And now you're all fucked up, not because you got molested, but because your fame is gone.
About the time I found out I was cute to older girls was about the same time I found out the same thing worked for older men. So, I never really got to work on my game, A little reluctant to go to the gym to work on it, when the lights are off. Every time these wild turkeys run by now, thanks to those Shantex ads, I just see them as a bunch of sad smokers,
Oh, Chantrix.
Yeah, Shantrix. Like, fuck off. But, good luck with your smoking habit. Nobody wants to see a turkey smoke.
I don't know about that one. Is that a commercial?
Yeah.
It's
like a
pill to stop smoking.
It's like you could use anything, but it's like turkeys that are chiming for another cigarette, It's like, that's kind of my go-to meat because I don't like chickens and I don't really care about turkeys, I've had enough dealings with them in public or trying to get places.
Are you eating turkey as a vendetta?
I was involved in a hit and run with one time, and it does damage your car. So it's like it's like, yeah, I'll have turkey when I'm at the deli. I'll go with turkey. I don't want beef, or if I smell them on the road, But if I can do the world of service and take one of these fuckers out, but now I think of them as fucking hipsters trying to quit smoking. So
that
I think
doesn't make you want to kill more of them.
I might be a vegan. Well, it does vehicularly, but I don't want to reap the benefits of it. I'd rather eat my squirrel.
Right.
Which I found out, if I give him peanuts that are unshelled, he can be a little annoying. He eats them all, and then he wants more. But if I give him in shells, then he has to go plant them.
Yeah. Oh, perfect.
It's like it's like figuring out your friend has attention deficit problems, but what triggers them? Okay, I got this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you can always go make him wash his hands.
Yeah. You want some peanuts? Enjoy them in May if you remember where you put them, dickhead. Chances are I'll probably pull it thinking it's a weed, dickhead.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Maybe the squirrel is just going to find those nuts the same way you find old pills that you've lost in your car and hits of LSD.
Yeah. Well, if only car vacuums could have a fucking trip. As I know, I've sucked a few down those. The industrial pill suckers. That's what I call them. Industrial pill suckers. I can't reach that pill, but you can show. Yeah, there he is. Jack Elam just popped up. Yeah, how would you like to wake up on a job you didn't even want to keep that you were just planning to rob? And that guy, oh, fuck, what are you, a store detective? I immediately
the
thought
store dick.
Well, I remembered him being an authority figure. I just forgot he was a paramedic in the
in Cannonball Run, he was in the ambulance.
I think, he was a paramedic. He was a first responder. And, if you're a first responder, hey, man, calm down. There's still going to be an emergency when you get there.
Even more so, probably.
You don't have to hit the horn a fourth time. We get it. We're all getting over. You can't let that adrenaline make you a dick, i.e. Coke, First responders are just like Coke fiends,
Full stop. That's it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I don't know if
I think that's a great place to leave it.
Yeah, Issues with Andy doesn't have a mailbox, right?
Yeah. That'll be something for our fans. That'll be something for the people to ponder.
I really like
IWA next week.
I like it being called IWA because it sounds like like angry black or what, or four angry white men that don't like. I don't trust the police. That's what it should be. Is I don't trust the police. IWA.
That's your take.
I try to keep my mouth shut around the police. Cooperate with the police. WA. Keep it down. After hours at the Airbnb at the IWA.
Quiet hour.
I'm with you, Andy. Cooperate with the police. Keep your hands on the steering wheel and say, "Sir and please."
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
No. We veered off into rapping. That's it. Show's over.
What do you want me? What do you want me to be doing,
Over.
officer? That's what I always say. Well, where are you? What do you want? Well, what do you want me to be doing, officer? I can adjust. I was going to go get some crack cocaine, officer, to be honest with you, but I'm going to go ahead and tell you what you want to hear now. Yeah, I don't talk to them. Don't ever, they're just as scared of you as you are of them.
You're thinking of snakes. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'm Brad Erickson. That's Chad Shank and Greg Shaley, and that's Andy Andrist. Anything you guys would like to say at the end in way of
click
plugs and goodbyes?
Click on your X up there when you're done with the session.
Solid advice. Tip of the He's week. Talking into a mirror right now.
Just for you, Andy. That's fun, guys.
Yeah.
Hey, go to DougStanhope.com to get on the mailing list and get tour dates. We're adding more. We've got everything starting up. I think Boise, it all starts March 3rd. So we're also adding UK dates, and those are also on the website. So get over there and check it out. DougStanhope.com.
All right. Thanks, guys. See you.
And if you are trying to quit smoking, smoking.
No, God damn it. I thought that was Chad, and it turned out to be Andy.